Every parent reaches a moment when they realize the tiny hands they once held no longer need guiding in quite the same way. It is a mixture of pride, nostalgia, and a quiet ache that cannot be explained until it is lived. For Angelina Jolie, that realization arrived many times, each shaped by the unique personality and journey of one of her 6 children. Their upbringing unfolded across continents, cultures, and experiences far removed from ordinary childhoods, yet rooted in the same universal need for love, safety, and belonging. Despite their famous last name, Jolie's children have grown up navigating many of the same questions all young people face. Who am I? What matters to me? Where do I belong? Their story is not defined by celebrity, but by a family's ongoing effort to nurture individuality, compassion, and independence, while holding tight to the bonds that keep them connected. A family built through love and choice. Angelina Jolie's family was shaped not only by birth, but by intention. Each child entered her life through a story that carried its own history, culture, and meaning. Some were born into her arms, others traveled across oceans to become part of her world, yet all were welcomed with the same devotion. Jolie has often spoken about how becoming a mother transformed her understanding of responsibility, patience, and unconditional love. Rather than molding her children into predetermined roles, she chose to meet them where they were, allowing their personalities to unfold naturally. This approach created a household that celebrates differences instead of smoothing them away. It also established a foundation of trust, where children are encouraged to speak openly, explore freely, and grow at their own pace. In a world that constantly tries to define people, Jolie's parenting centers on helping her children define themselves. Maddox, the beginning of motherhood. Maddox, Jolie's eldest, marked the beginning of her journey into motherhood. Adopted from Cambodia as a baby, he entered her life at a time when she was seeking deeper purpose and direction. From the very start, Maddox was surrounded by a sense of global awareness, learning about different cultures, histories, and perspectives through both travel and conversation. He grew up thoughtful and observant, often described as introspective beyond his years. Rather than seeking attention, Maddox has consistently chosen a quieter path, one grounded in learning and self-discovery. His interest in film, history, and international affairs reflects the environment he was raised in, one where curiosity is encouraged and questions are welcomed. As the first child, Maddox helped shape the rhythm of the family, setting a tone of empathy, maturity, and quiet strength that continues to influence his siblings. Maddox's path toward independence. As Maddox entered adulthood, his desire to carve out a life beyond the public eye became increasingly clear. He pursued higher education with a focus on global studies, signaling his interest in understanding the world from both academic and human perspectives. Rather than chasing fame, Maddox gravitates toward work that feels meaningful and grounded. Those who have worked alongside him describe a young man who listens carefully, thinks deeply, and approaches projects with seriousness and respect. Jolie has spoken about the emotional complexity of watching Maddox step into his independence, describing pride intertwined with longing for the days when he was small enough to carry. Yet she also acknowledges that this evolution is exactly what she hoped for, a child growing into a self-directed, compassionate adult. Maddox's journey illustrates how a strong foundation of love allows children to move forward with confidence, even when the path is uncertain. Pax. Finding belonging and voice. Pax entered Jolie's life at the age of 3, after spending his earliest years in Vietnam. His transition into a new family, new country, and new language was profound, yet he adapted with remarkable resilience. Jolie has described Pax as spirited, expressive, and deeply curious. From a young age, he showed an interest in visual storytelling, gravitating toward photography, drawing, and later digital art. Pax's creativity became a way for him to communicate his inner world, offering glimpses into thoughts and emotions that words sometimes cannot capture. Rather than pushing him toward acting or performance, Jolie encouraged him to explore art privately, allowing his talent to develop organically. Pax's story reflects the power of patience and understanding in parenting. It demonstrates how children flourish when they feel safe enough to experiment, make mistakes, and grow into their authentic selves. Pax's creative identity. As Pax matured, his artistic interests deepened into a personal and intentional practice. He explored mixed media, digital illustration, and experimental photography, often sharing pieces quietly, rather than seeking public recognition. His work carries an introspective quality, reflecting both curiosity and emotional depth. Jolie has spoken about how proud she is of Pax's dedication to honing his craft without chasing external validation. For him, art is not about attention, but about expression and self-discovery. This approach mirrors the values instilled in him: authenticity over applause, growth over perfection. Pax's journey underscores an important truth about creative development. Talent flourishes best in environments free from pressure. By allowing him space to create on his own terms, Jolie has supported not just his artistic abilities, but his sense of autonomy and confidence. Pax stands as a reminder that success can be quiet, personal, and deeply fulfilling. Zahara, compassion in action. Zahara joined the family as an infant, bringing with her a radiant warmth that quickly became part of the household's emotional core. From a young age, Zahara demonstrated a natural sensitivity to the needs of others. She gravitated toward causes related to education, women's empowerment, and access to healthcare, often participating in philanthropic initiatives alongside her mother. Zahara's compassion is paired with creativity, particularly in visual arts and design. She once collaborated on a jewelry project that supported charitable organizations, blending artistic expression with purposeful impact. Those close to her describe Zahara as thoughtful, gentle, and quietly determined. Her upbringing, steeped in humanitarian work and global awareness, helped shape her understanding of responsibility and privilege. Zahara's path illustrates how empathy can be nurtured through example, and how children who witness kindness in action often grow into adults who carry that kindness forward. Zahara's step into adulthood. When Zahara left for college, it marked a powerful milestone for both mother and daughter. Jolie has spoken openly about the emotional weight of watching her child step into independence, describing a mixture of pride, awe, and vulnerability. Zahara approached this transition with grace, embracing new academic challenges while maintaining strong ties to her family. Her college experience represents more than education. It symbolizes her readiness to navigate the world on her own terms. Zahara continues to balance her creative interests with advocacy, reflecting a holistic approach to life that values both self-expression and service. Her journey highlights the importance of allowing young adults to explore, question, and redefine themselves without fear of disappointing those they love. Zahara's story is one of quiet strength, demonstrating that confidence does not always announce itself loudly. Shiloh, embracing authenticity. Shiloh has long been known for her fearless approach to self-expression. From early childhood, she displayed a strong sense of identity and an instinct to follow her own instincts, regardless of expectations. Jolie has consistently supported Shiloh's choices, emphasizing that children should be free to explore who they are without being confined by labels. Dance became Shiloh's primary language of expression, offering a physical outlet for emotion, creativity, and storytelling. Her dedication to movement reflects discipline, passion, and resilience. Shiloh's journey underscores the importance of giving young people space to discover themselves organically. Rather than shaping her into a predefined image, Jolie allowed Shiloh to lead with authenticity. This acceptance has helped cultivate a sense of confidence rooted not in approval, but in self-understanding. Shiloh's journey of self-discovery. As Shiloh matured, her commitment to individuality became even more pronounced. She approached adolescence with a desire to define herself on her own terms, exploring identity, creativity, and personal boundaries. Jolie has spoken about how deeply she respects Shiloh's courage, noting that true strength lies in staying honest with oneself. Through dance, Shiloh found not only artistic expression, but also a sense of belonging and discipline. She trained consistently, embracing the challenges that come with growth. Her journey serves as a reminder that self-discovery is not a straight line. It involves experimentation, uncertainty, and reflection. By supporting Shiloh's process rather than controlling it, Jolie demonstrated a parenting philosophy rooted in trust. Shiloh's story encourages others to honor their inner voice, even when it leads somewhere unexpected. Knox. Growing with curiosity. Knox entered the world as one half of a set of twins, instantly becoming part of a lively, interconnected family dynamic. From an early age, he displayed a curious and observant nature, often taking in the world quietly before engaging. Knox has grown up surrounded by creativity, travel, and humanitarian work, absorbing these influences in his own way. While he has participated in small creative projects, his interests remain largely private, reflecting a personality that values personal space. Jolie has emphasized the importance of allowing each child to develop at their own pace, and Knox embodies this philosophy. His journey is not defined by public milestones, but by steady growth and exploration. Knox's story highlights that not all children seek the spotlight, and that fulfillment can be found in thoughtful observation and quiet discovery. Vivienne, a love for storytelling. Vivienne, Knox's twin sister, developed an early fascination with storytelling and performance. She showed interest in acting at a young age, appearing in small roles and later assisting behind the scenes in theatrical productions. Vivienne's curiosity extends beyond being on stage. She enjoys learning how stories are built, how characters are developed, and how collaboration brings creative visions to life. Jolie has described Vivienne as focused, inquisitive, and deeply engaged when working on creative projects. Rather than pushing her toward fame, Jolie encourages Vivienne to explore theater as a craft, emphasizing discipline and learning. Vivienne's journey reflects the joy of discovering a passion and nurturing it with patience. Her story reminds us that creativity is not just about performance, but about curiosity, collaboration, and dedication. Vivienne's emerging independence. As Vivienne grows older, she continues to demonstrate increasing independence and self-awareness. She approaches creative work with seriousness, taking pride in understanding the process rather than just the outcome. Jolie has spoken about how meaningful it is to watch Vivienne develop her own interests, separate from family expectations. This evolution mirrors what each of Jolie's children experience, the gradual shift from being guided to guiding themselves. Vivienne's willingness to learn behind the scenes highlights a humility that values knowledge over attention. Her journey underscores the idea that true confidence comes from competence and self-belief. Vivienne represents a generation of young people who want to understand how things work, not just be seen. Her path is still unfolding, but it is already marked by curiosity, dedication, and quiet determination. A household rooted in creativity. Creativity is woven into the fabric of Jolie's household, not as an expectation, but as an invitation. Each child is encouraged to explore artistic interests in ways that feel natural to them. Whether through film, dance, visual art, design, or theater, creativity becomes a language for self-expression. Jolie believes that art helps children process emotions, develop empathy, and understand the world more deeply. This environment fosters experimentation without fear of failure. Mistakes are viewed as part of learning, not something to be hidden. By normalizing creative exploration, Jolie helps her children build confidence in their ideas and instincts. The result is not a family of performers, but a family of thinkers, creators, and storytellers. Creativity, in this context, is less about talent and more about curiosity. Learning through the world travel and cultural exposure have played a significant role in shaping Jolie's children. From refugee camps to historic cities, they have witnessed both hardship and resilience firsthand. These experiences instill empathy that cannot be taught through books alone. Jolie believes that understanding different ways of life helps children develop humility and gratitude. Rather than shielding her children from difficult realities, she introduces them in age-appropriate ways, encouraging thoughtful conversation and reflection. This approach fosters a sense of global citizenship, where compassion extends beyond familiar borders. The children learn that their lives are interconnected with others, and that their choices matter. Such an upbringing nurtures awareness without overwhelming, creating young adults who are informed, grounded, and socially conscious. Balancing fame and normalcy. Raising children in the public eye requires constant negotiation between visibility and protection. Jolie works intentionally to shield her children from unnecessary exposure while acknowledging that some attention is unavoidable. Home life is centered around routines, shared meals, and private moments that remain just that, private. The goal is not to pretend fame does not exist, but to prevent it from defining identity. Jolie emphasizes values over image, character over reputation. This grounding helps her children understand that who they are matters more than how they are perceived. By prioritizing emotional safety, Jolie creates space for her children to grow without feeling like they must perform for the world. The quiet strength of love. At the heart of this family is a quiet, steady love that does not demand attention. It exists in everyday gestures, listening, showing up, offering reassurance, and respecting boundaries. Jolie's children know they are valued not for what they achieve, but for who they are. This knowledge becomes an anchor as they navigate a complex world. Love, in this context, is not possessive, but liberating. It allows children to grow without fear of losing connection. That quiet strength is perhaps the family's greatest legacy. Looking toward the future. As Jolie's children continue to step into adulthood, their paths will inevitably diverge. Some may pursue art, others advocacy, others entirely different callings. What unites them is not a single destiny, but a shared foundation of empathy, curiosity, and self-respect. Jolie hopes not that her children become famous or celebrated, but that they become fulfilled. Their future is not about living up to a legacy, but about creating their own. A story of becoming. Ultimately, the story of Angelina Jolie's children is a story of becoming. Becoming aware, becoming independent, becoming true to themselves. It is a reminder that every child's journey is deeply personal, shaped by love, environment, and choice. Even within extraordinary circumstances, the fundamental needs remain the same: to be seen, heard, and supported. Through intentional parenting and unwavering love, Jolie has created a space where her children can become who they are meant to be. That, more than fame or fortune, is the real success of this family.